Hello everyone and welcome back. My people, Nigeria is bleeding. The insecurity has gotten out of hand. So today, the Plateau State governor has urged Plateau State people to rise and defend themselves from these terrorists. But before I allow you guys to listen and hear what he said in this particular video, so today, Peter Obi asked TINUBU to come back home immediately in order to address the overwhelming insecurity situation in Nigeria. So Peter Obi said, Mr. President, domestic problems beacons. I am compelled at this time in our lives as a nation to call on our retreating president's attention to the security challenges at home, which entails that he immediately suspend his ongoing retreat in a foreign land and come home to address the overwhelming security situation across the country. This urgent call has become necessary following the rising incidence of crimes and the criminalities all over Nigeria with an apparent absence of governance. In the 2 weeks you have been away, over 150 Nigerians have lost their lives to insecurity across Nigeria, especially in Plateau and Zamfara states. The repeated pipeline explosions in the Niger Delta further reflect a nation in distress. In the northeast, Borno state leaders are bemoaning in return of insurgency with troops and civilians being killed randomly. In the southeast, the story is the same: killings and abduction. Amidst all this, the CEO of the troubling company called Nigeria is retreating far away land in France from the company's headquarters. The primary duty of any government is securing the lives and property of its citizens, and one wonders the types of retreat going on in another country where peace has been rescued by their leaders while blood continues to flow in our country. The fight for the better Nigeria is not about individuals. It is about ensuring that every citizen can see, feel, and benefit from the policies and decisions of those in power. I, therefore, like to urge Mr. President to quickly suspend whatever he is doing in France and rush home to take responsibility by addressing these disturbing issues. That is the new Nigeria that the nation seeks. A new Nigeria is possible. P.O. So, my people, this is what Peter Obi said, and I believe that he has spoken the minds of many Nigerians. TINUBU need to come back home to tackle the problem of insecurity, because according to TINUBU, during Jonathan time, TINUBU said, on matters of security, the buck stop at the president's table. Like in other countries, Jonathan is the chief security officer. Stop Boko Haram. The festering Boko Haram attacks on the northeast and massacre of innocent citizens is a concrete proof that Nigeria has no government. My people, what an irony. I hope you guys heard what TINUBU said to Jonathan. Right now, TINUBU, the bulk of security matter is on your table. Stop running away. Come back home and take your responsibility as president. My people, let me allow you guys to listen to this particular video and hear what the governor of Plateau State said concerning the people of Plateau State, that they should stand up and defend themselves from these terrorists. Just take a listen.
We continue to follow the situation in Plateau State as Governor Caleb Mutfwang, in a state address, has called for calm and assured the people of the state that Plateau shall not be overrun by fear, as his administration is intensifying efforts to protect and enforce the rule of law across all local governments. Let's listen to some excerpts from his state address this morning.
Let us be clear. This is not random violence. This is not an isolated conflict between farmers and herders. What we are witnessing is a systematic and premeditated campaign, one that seeks to displace, destabilize, and instill terror and fear on our people and communities. The tragic echoes of Dogona Hawa, Riom, Barkiladi, Mangu, and the Christmas Eve massacres in Bokos remain vivid. The cycle continues, but it must not endure. Enough is enough. As your governor, I stand resolved. Plateau shall not be overrun by fear, nor shall we accept this culture of bloodshed as the new normal. My administration is intensifying efforts to protect our people and enforce the rule of law across all local governments. Only days ago, I visited Hurti, Mbar, Mangbuna, and Dafo to witness firsthand the devastation left behind by the terrorists. I had earlier stopped at Rui, where mourners were brazenly attacked at the wake. What I saw moved me profoundly. The suffering of displaced families, now crammed into churches and temporary shelters, their lives uprooted overnight. But let me reassure you, my government is alive to its constitutional responsibility of protecting lives and property, and we are rising to the occasion more determined than ever.
Certainly more determined than ever. Yesterday, Governor Caleb Mutfwang visited communities reeling from an attack that has left more than 50 people dead. The governor apologized to the villagers in Bassa, local government area of Plateau, for failing to ensure the security of their lives and property. Arise correspondent Douglas Francis filed this report.
Governor Mutfwang, in company of security agencies and members of the State Executive Council, have expressed deep sorrow over the incident, admitting that despite effort made, the government fell short in preventing the tragedy. The governor's first point of call is the residence of the traditional ruler, where he pledges renewed commitment to ending the violence. He laments the state of infrastructure, including poor roads, attributing it to years of neglect due to insecurity and terrorism.
We've come here together with the GOC, the Commissioner of Police, and the entire security apparatus in the state to reassure you that we are ever committed. I know that you have reason not to be happy with some of the operations in the past, but I want you to know that whatever lapses there are, we have taken decisions to correct them. We are going to make sure that we provide all the necessary surveillance that we need to provide.
The governor also visited some of the homes of the affected persons, where he expressed dismay with the current situation.
Let me remind you that whatever arrangements the security agencies do, that is only part of the solution. The solution must come from the community. We have come to a point in time in Nigeria where every community must make arrangements to defend itself. There is no shying away from this. And let me assure you that I will never encourage lawlessness. But we can no longer afford to all of us go to sleep at the same time. Our young people must rise to the occasion.
At this hour of grief, the residents of these communities will hope the state governor will bring respite and hope that the situation which has left many displaced will come to an end.
Painful pictures coming from there. Women, men, communities in mourning. You can feel their pain, but glad to see the governor is stepping in and showing leadership.
Vimbai, the governor has always shown leadership, because it's not the first time this is going to happen in the Plateau. He has always shown leadership. He's always gone out there. He's always done the communal work. And that's why I was taken aback by the statement of the president that he should go out there. He's always done this, but he cannot do it all. He can only move from place to place, call for peace, sit with people, talk to them. When the invaders come in the night, it is the security forces, the Army of the Federal Republic, the police of the Federal Republic that will fight them fire for fire and repel them. The governor cannot do that. Yes, there are concerns about state police and all of that. Even if you get state police today, they cannot carry sophisticated weapons. Amotekun doesn't carry sophisticated weapons. So he cannot go ahead and do most of those things unless the federal government put their stamp there. And today, we've been talking about how, we have under-policing in most of these areas. You don't have adequate police coverage. There's a video making the rounds of how even our shambolic our policemen have been treated, that a foreign national, I think a Chinese man, was handing them over little cash. That's the state of play as we speak today. What we call for is the federal government to stamp a foot on the ground. The governor can do all the communal interface. He has given a speech, he has talked to them, he's tried to calm frail nerves. But what is happening there is genocide, is deeper, is land grabbing. That's what the people are saying. They want to dispossess them off their lands. That's what they are saying. Let the federal government rise up to action and do something for these people.
That's it. Now, before we cross over to Ferdinand, I just want to go through some of the measures that the governor has introduced as of his state address this morning to try and address this issue within his own power. He's said security deployments are being reinforced and the Operation Rainbow is being restructured. That's the state's security outfit. And he has also banned night grazing of cattle. It's now strictly prohibited. Transportation of cattle by vehicles is now banned after 7 p.m. and the use of motorcycles is restricted from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. across the state until further notice. And there's also an interreligious council that is supposed to begin engagement. So on that note, joining us now live from Plateau State to bring us updates on the situation on the ground is Arise correspondent Ferdinand Duroa. Ferdinand, good morning. I'm so sorry that we have to engage under such tragic circumstances, but good to have you nevertheless.
Well, thank you so much. Well, very, very tragic. Well, yesterday we were in Basa, in Zike and Kimagba, where it happened, and we met people who lost as much as 11 relatives. One of them spoke to us. Well, we met people who lost like 5. Well, here in Jos, you know, it's quite a sad mood, and that's because almost everybody, you know, knows somebody who has been affected by such killings. And it just tells you exactly that something needs to be done. And then when you talk about something being, you know, when you talk about us having to do something very, very soon, well, the people are saying, please arm us so that we can defend ourselves. Well, it's close to what the governor said yesterday. Well, this is the point where everybody has got to come in and then defend yourself. That definitely shows that line that we are not very comfortable with, the line of hopelessness, the fact that people are beginning to lose faith in the security structure. Well, also that yesterday, well, the IGP was in Jos. Sadly, he didn't get to visit, Basa community where the incident happened. And he confessed. He said, well, we can't be everywhere. The security operatives can't be everywhere. And these guys look out for soft targets. They go to those places where they know are porous and then make quicker hits and then run out of there. And then he said that they will try to, you know, do some things, make some adjustments. He talked about increasing intelligence and other things. Well, let's suggest, well, this is the point where they definitely have to use force multipliers. People are talking about drones, and then when you talk about drones, well, you have to equip yourself so that you can use technology to indeed cover up those areas where, you know, we can have boots on the ground. The governor has said a whole lot today. Well, one aspect where I felt, you know, he was going to touch was, you know, trying to see how well they could integrate security architecture, you know, security operatives like the Nigeria Forest Security Service. What about this forest? Well, they are not very guarded. Well, let's stop people from coming in through these places, coming to do these quick hits and then run away. So all in all, that's the situation here right now in Plateau State. Very gloomy faces because almost everybody has indeed lost somebody.
Okay, great to have you, Ferdinand. The question is, if you say everybody should arm themselves, that's an invitation to anarchy. Everybody having arms at a very tensed environment, then what do we do? So what's the role of the federal government? Isn't it shocking that the police IG visited the state and he didn't visit the incident area of the major incident in the state? Isn't it shocking? Isn't it an abdication of responsibility?
Possibly we were there. We waited for him. We thought he was going to come, but then he made a quick dash in and out of Plateau State. We do not exactly know his reasons, but if there's one thing that we know is that the AIG, I think in charge of Zone 3, has been, committed to the security here. But just like they said, there's a whole lot that needs to be done. And when you take a look at the police, take a look at the structure of the police, take a look at the funding, take a look at how equipped they are, definitely that it's just going to be a scratch in the surface no matter what we try to do with them. So that's exactly why I talked about our force multipliers. We've got to bring in technology into this. And this talks of, limitations, we definitely have to look for something to get above them. I also recommended to ensure that our forests are well guarded so that we have people responsible for stopping people from, just going into the forest and leaving there. We talked about grazing. We should get beyond this. Who carries cattle from one place to the other, from one place to the other anymore on road? And, beginning to have these ancestral issues with, we were here before, you asked us to go away. Right now, we want to come back. And, these are the issues that have clouded the situation here as regards that this matter. So I think there's a whole lot that needs to be done. But yesterday also we saw the Minister of Defense will convey that security meeting. I think that was somewhere where they should look at themselves clearly and tell themselves that they need to do more. Nigerians want them to do more. And the fact that this is happening is a failure as regards the security structure. So, let's hope that after that meeting, there will be some adjustments. But clearly, Rufai, a whole lot more has to be done.
Thanks so much, Ferdinand. Now, in his address, the governor also referred to the creation of a fact-finding committee to try and understand the root cause of the resurgence of this particular spate of violence. Now, there's already a lot of information in the public space. The governor himself has already expressed, he's used the words genocide, he's used the words ethnic cleansing. We know there's also a religious dimension to that. What more is a fact-finding mission really supposed to be unearthing when it seems as though all of the facts are bare, exposed, and apparent for all to see?
Well, I totally agree with you, and that's because yesterday we went in and if there was one thing that the people in Kimagba said was that they could identify some of the people who attacked them. Now, we spoke with a couple of people from the community security outfits, the vigilante service that they have over there, and they talked about the fact that it was because they were not armed and so they couldn't respond, but then they could identify some of the persons. And in that report that we did, they spoke about heathers, and then they also went back to give us a kind of ancestral history of how some heathers had lived with them for close to 20 years, and then they left in 2001, and they've called them back, and unfortunately they have refused to come back, but instead these guys come back, do these hits, and then run off, and how they are in court. In fact, to be precise, the community youth leader said they are in court with some of these persons because they have evidences that they've taken to court. They've shown that these guys are culpable. So maybe that investigative panel is going to look at exactly some of these evidences that the community have to say that, well, we know some of these people who have come here to attack us. They come here by day, bring their cattle, cause some problems. We have a conflict with them. Then they go back, and then at night they come back, and then they carry out these attacks. So let's see. But then also, some people are also saying, well, let's also talk to the communities. Perhaps the communities should look for some other way to interact with these persons, maybe accommodate them, maybe give them some, a part of the community to come and rear their cattle. But as much as we know, this is a federal issue, and that's because it's not limited to Basa. In Bokos, we had something very similar. Go to Benue State, it is still the same situation. And that's why the governor had those strong words when he said that it is a calculated attempt to dislodge people from their lands. And I think clearly that they have some information. They already know some of the reasons why some of these attacks are happening. But maybe it is the that this investigative panel is going to be an opportunity for them to aggregate this opinion, and then if they are going to go to some court, a sort of adjudication, and then let's exactly see what this is and handle it or address it once and for all.
All right.
Thank you so much, Ferdinand. Very sad one for Nigeria. We just hope we keep the peace. Ferdinand, please, as we go, confirm for me. Somebody just sent a message. He said there was another attack in Riyadh yesterday. Can you confirm that?
Unfortunately, I can't. Okay. Unfortunately, I can't, but we will do well. We will do well to confirm that and then bring it to you as soon as possible.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ferdinand. Really appreciate you.
Welcome to Chamber News TV.